Dangerous severe weather with damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes is coming to the United States over the next few days. We're going to show you the areas that the thunderstorms will be impacting the most and what they could bring and the timing of those storms. We'll also be looking at another major heat wave building across the United States, starting in the desert Southwest and building into the Midwestern United States as we go through the next few days. If you are here, make sure to subscribe to the channel for straightforward, accurate, and reliable weather coverage daily across southern Canada, the United States, and the tropics. Like the video, give it a thumbs up, and share it with a friend, family member, and on social media. Looking here at our temperature anomalies this weekend, both for today and tomorrow on Saturday and Sunday, notice we have a lot of cool air in blue and green across the central and eastern United States, and this is around almost 20 degrees below normal of what we should see for this time of year. In fact, we look at those temperatures this afternoon of what we are expecting, and we're into the upper 70s across the upper Midwest, Ohio Valley, and much of the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. The triple-digit heat could be pushing Phoenix into record territory this afternoon already at 113 degrees. As we go into tomorrow, though, it's not a record, but we still could be at 111 degrees for a high in Phoenix, Arizona as we go into your Sunday. More 70s, some 80s out there, but with lower humidity can be expected across the north central and the east central United States. Now, we are tracking some severe weather this afternoon and this evening. There is a yellow area where scattered severe thunderstorms will be possible from Amarillo all the way up there into eastern Colorado and into the panhandle of Nebraska. In dark green from southeastern Montana down into northwestern Texas, that's where isolated severe thunderstorms will be possible. Also isolated severe weather possible in southern Alabama, southern Georgia, and North Florida as we go through the afternoon and evening. Main threats are going to be 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts there, especially in the yellow shaded color across portions of the Southwest Plains. Same area that could be impacted by some quarter size, even golf ball size hailstones, and a minimal tornado risk at 2% chance in the green, extending from eastern Colorado, western Kansas, and the Nebraska panhandle all the way down into the Oklahoma, Texas panhandle, including the Amarillo area as we go into the afternoon. Now, going into tomorrow on Sunday, August 3rd, we have more isolated severe weather possible in similar areas from South Dakota near Rapid City all the way down toward Wichita Falls, Texas, Amarillo included, Elk City and Woodward, Oklahoma, Dodge City, Kansas, and North Platte there into Nebraska as well. And there is a tornado threat mainly confined to the Southwest Plains near Amarillo, the eastern Texas panhandle getting into western Oklahoma, including the Oklahoma panhandle and southwestern Kansas. Let's look at the central U.S. view. We'll go to the eastern U.S. after that, and then the western U.S. third. Here at noon, things are pretty quiet. As we go into the afternoon, though, we're going to watch these supercell thunderstorms. It's the storms that are by themselves, and these are going to be potentially rotating, producing a couple of tornadoes. In addition to that, 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts and some quarter to golf ball size hailstones. As we go into the evening hours, we're going to see those storms diving southeast toward Amarillo, toward portions of the Elk City area and Oklahoma City on a weakening trend after midnight, and additional storms to the north as well. Though it won't be severe, but some locally heavy downpours will be pushing through the eastern Dakotas and eastern Nebraska. Starting off 7 a.m. on Sunday, we're seeing an outflow of some thunderstorms moving into the Wichita Falls, Texas region and Lawton, Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Some of these could still be packing a punch with some strong gusty winds and smaller hail. As we go into the afternoon, we're going to see more storms developing here into the high plains, and a few of these could also rotate, producing more tornadoes. Rainfall amounts going to be hit and miss here across the plains, where some areas could get 1 or 2 inches of rain, other areas could get maybe just a quarter of an inch or less. So it's all dependent on where those storms develop, and again, it will be scattered as we go through the weekend time frame. Now, going here into the eastern U.S., this afternoon, we're going to see some thunderstorms mainly across the southeast. So Alabama, Georgia, eastern Tennessee, including the Cumberland Plateau and Smoky Mountains area, and then into the low country of South Carolina. And as we go into the evening hours, we're going to just continue to see a trajectory of thunderstorm activity from southwest to northeast across the southeastern United States through Alabama and Georgia. We wake up on Sunday morning and go through the day on Sunday. Georgia here, the Peach State, is going to be very wet as we go through the day on Sunday with scattered showers and thunderstorms. The rainfall there, especially in southern Georgia, northern Florida, could be picking up over 6 inches of rainfall just between now and 7 a.m. on Monday, August 4th. So flash flooding will be possible in some of these areas. Also some heavier rains further north. So Atlanta, Georgia and North Georgia, Huntsville and Florence in northern Alabama, Chattanooga, Knoxville, Tennessee, Johnston City, Tennessee. Those areas could see an inch or two of rainfall as well through 7 a.m. on Monday. The western United States this afternoon, we got the monsoonal flow, scattered showers and thunderstorms. Some of those could produce some heavier rainfall. And again, we'll see that wash out this evening. And then again, we'll do it all over, copy and paste it into the day on Sunday. Showers and storms will be isolated to widely scattered, and a lot of us out west will remain dry. It's mainly the areas there in the Rockies, the eastern Rockies, and some parts of the Pacific Northwest, especially for Oregon, that could see over a half an inch of rainfall between now and 7 a.m. on Monday, August 4th. Let's look at the severe weather threat heading into the early part of the work week next week. Monday, August 4th, isolated severe weather in dark green from South Dakota, northwest Iowa and Minnesota, all the way back down here into the Cornhusker state of Nebraska, and then up here into Idaho and into portions of Montana, where we could see isolated severe weather again on Monday. Otherwise, it's all about the heat, right? We're going to start to see that heat wave building back with the ridge of high pressure. Right now, currently anchored across the desert southwest, but that will be building further to the north and east by Tuesday. Wednesday, we have a 600 decameter high pressure ridge across portions of New Mexico. This is actually going to create some record high temperatures for much of the desert southwest heading into the week. And we look at the temperature anomalies between Monday, August 4th and Friday, August 8th, and they're going to be quite a bit above normal, even for the desert southwest. So this time of year, when you see temperature anomalies almost 20 degrees above average in the desert southwest, you know it's hot. And then up here into the upper Midwest, we're going to be a handful of degrees above normal as well. So on Monday, we are hitting 112 in Phoenix. We have 100-degree heat building in Southwest and South Texas. Still quite comfortable across the north central U.S. on Monday with lower humidity. And then as we go into Tuesday, we're still going to be building that heat back here into the southwestern plains, areas there near Denver, for example, into the Amarillo area and Dallas-Fort Worth, Oklahoma City into the 90s by Tuesday, increasing humidity down there, comfortable across the northeast. And then as we go into Wednesday, we're going to continue to see that heat building north and east. And look at Phoenix, everybody. Look at Thursday, August 7th, 117, a record high. And as we go into Friday, still 113. So if you live in Phoenix, if you live in Las Vegas, San Diego, it is going to be scorching dry heat down there as we go through the week ahead, especially by the middle of the week. Now, east of the Rockies, we know this time of year the mature corn crop is out there. We also have trajectories from the Gulf lifting northward, and that means the dew point temperatures are going to be increasing. Moisture, dew points in the 70s, even low 80s will be reintroduced across the north central U.S., and that will increase our heat index readings as well. So Monday, not too bad here across the north central U.S., especially for the upper Midwest. Still seeing heat index values below 80, but here they come from Texas. As we go into Tuesday, we're going to start to see those heat indexes increase into Oklahoma into the mid-90s, and then by Wednesday up here into Kansas near 100 and into the mid-90s there in Kansas City. And then as we go into Thursday and then Friday, we're really going to start to build that heat into the triple digits up into the Midwest. So the heat is coming back. The ACs will be humming once again across the Midwest as we go into the next weekend time frame. That heat and that humidity will directly correlate and actually increase our storm energy as we go through next week, and it will be a gradual trend. But as we get towards the middle and end of next week, that storm energy, the charcoal color here, is extreme amounts of instability, and that could lead to the northwest flow thunderstorm cluster risk that we see this time of year across the northern plains and into the upper Midwest. So looking here at Monday, isolated severe weather will be possible here into the northern plains. We're talking the Dakotas, Nebraska, and upper Midwest there of Minnesota. Going into Tuesday, we're going to see more isolated scattered severe weather again for eastern Montana and the Dakotas. And then once we get to Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, we're just going to see a couple thunderstorm clusters moving from northwest to southeast. This is a setup that could favor a derecho, right? A derecho is a widespread, fast-moving storm complex that produces widespread wind damage. Hail and tornadoes can be embedded, as well as some flooding rains. Not to say that a derecho is guaranteed, but this pattern is conducive to one. So we'll continue to watch it as we go into later this next week. Rainfall is going to be plentiful there across portions of Minnesota near the Twin Cities. Could be picking up 2 to 4 inches of rainfall. Duluth as well, up into the Arrowhead of Minnesota. And then the further south and east you go into the Midwest, Ohio Valley, the rainfall will taper off, but still a chance of the storm complexes between Monday, August 4th and Friday, August 8th in those areas. Let's turn over into the tropics here briefly, because we are actually seeing 20% chance of a system developing right off the North Carolina coast. This, my friends, is going to be a fish storm. It's moving away from North America and the United States, but it is something that could bring some pretty heavy rainfall. We look at the setup here. The Bermuda High is very far east. Actually, it's closer to Europe than it is to North America here at this time. And you can see we're going to be looking at a lot of spin here just to the east of North Carolina, and this could close off a low pressure system and produce a tropical depression, or maybe even a weak tropical storm as we go into early on this work week. And watch, it actually stays together along the north central Atlantic and then over toward Europe. Here it falls apart by the time we get to Sunday next weekend, August 10th, but it could be producing some hefty rains across the southeast. That's one of the reasons why we've seen so much rainfall recently in the southeast, and why we continue to see rainfall as we go through the 10th of August. Some areas in Georgia could be seeing north of 6 inches of rain, and then the eastern shore there of the Carolinas could be seeing some hefty 3 to 6 inch rain amounts. Wilmington down to Myrtle Beach and Charleston, Savannah, Georgia, those areas especially. Now, as we look here in the long range in the tropics in the Atlantic, we're actually seeing a formidable tropical wave moving off of Africa later next week, and you can see it here in the main development region, and the Bermuda High is up here into the northeast Atlantic. And what this is going to do is slip a system underneath of that and potentially build it further to the west. Now, this could have interest near the Caribbean or maybe the northwestern Atlantic. That's something we're going to have to monitor as we go toward the middle of August. That's the European ensemble. Here's the GFS ensemble, and notice it's similar, maybe a few days slower with it here, but something we have to keep an eye on once we get to that second and even third week of August in the Atlantic Basin. Now let's look here at the East Pacific view, because we also have quite a bit going on here as well. We got Tropical Storm Gil just to the east of Hawaii. We have 2 more systems that could be named over the next 7 days, and they have a medium to high chance they are in orange and red of developing, and those could be the next 2 systems that could take a run toward the Central Pacific Basin and Hawaii as we go in the long range period. So in the East Pacific, it's very busy. There's no question about that. Over the next 7 to 10 days, it's really going to be busy there. But we look near Hawaii, and it's going to be a close call for some of these systems. Some of these are going to move to the south of the Hawaii. Some are going to move to the north. And again, we're going to continue to watch the Hawaiian Islands for a potential direct hit as we go towards the middle of August. Obviously, it's not a guarantee. We need to watch these systems closely, but even indirect impacts, rip current risks, and rough surf could be something that could bring problems to the Hawaiian Islands for any surfers out there or anything like that. The strongest system of the 3 may get close to Hawaii by August 10th, 11th, and may kind of turn to the north of it. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. Back to the mainland United States, let's look at the fire weather risk as we go through the weekend. We have critical fire weather concerns from areas of northwestern Colorado down into Utah and northern Arizona. Dry thunderstorm risk in brown back there into northern California, Nevada, and southeastern portions of Oregon, where new fires could be started here this afternoon. And then again, more of a dry thunderstorm risk from those areas in northern California, southeastern Oregon, northwest Nevada into Idaho, with an elevated fire weather concern on Sunday out there. So again, open burning is prohibited across those areas. And we are still watching for air quality alerts across the upper Midwest. The Canadian wildfire smoke continues to be thick and dense across the upper Midwest, across eastern Nebraska, the entirety of the Hawkeye state of Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, northeast Illinois, and northern Indiana, everywhere outlined in gray up there, even into the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We're seeing some of that wildfire smoke and poor air quality. So if you have asthma, for example, or you're a sensitive group that has maybe type 1 diabetes or something like that, such as me, I was out mowing the other day, and I kind of, have a little bit different of breathing a little bit because of the smoke out there, So make sure to limit your time outdoors if you have such type 1 diabetes or asthma and stuff like that, to protect yourself. And we look at the long range here. Heading into the second week of August, above normal temperatures are expected, especially for the Northeast, down toward Florida, and then across the West and desert Southwest. Precipitation looking drier underneath that ridge there across the desert Southwest and the western U.S. in general. Above normal precip is really favored from the Southeast into the Tennessee Valley and lower Ohio River Valley, with some above normal rains up there with the northwest flow into the Great Lakes between August 9th and August 15th. Hey, if you did enjoy my forecast, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, give it a thumbs up, and share it with a friend, family member, and on social media. I definitely appreciate it, and I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their weekend out there.